Thank you, sir. I'd like to ask you a question about something you said in Bedminster as well. You said that you're planning to issue an executive order to ensure that health insurance companies prevent or cover people with pre-existing conditions, and you said that that had never been done before, but that's not the case because that is the law under the Affordable Care Act. So my question is, why do you need to issue an executive order for law that is already existing?
But I didn't say. I said as an executive order. As you said as an executive order. It hasn't been done before. We want to be able to assure people that pre-existing condition is always taken care of. As you know, we've done tremendous things having to do with the individual mandate. We got rid of the individual mandate from Obamacare, which really ended Obamacare as it would be officially known, because the individual mandate was the biggest part. It was also the most unpopular part, where you pay for a terrible privilege of overpaying for insurance. You pay not to have to pay for your health care. And that was a disaster for people and a very unpopular. That was called the individual mandate, and we terminated that and officially terminated that. And that was something that we have been given thanks for by many, many people. But the individual mandate will always be with us. The individual mandate termination will always be. They can't start it up. In fact, I don't even believe, you'll have to tell me, I don't believe it's been challenged when we ended it. And pre-existing conditions, the Republicans are 100% there. And I'll be issuing at some point in the not-too-distant future a very strong statement on that, probably in the form of an executive order.
Why do you need, sir, to do an executive order if it's already a part of existing
Just a double
law?
safety net, and just to let people know that the Republicans are totally, strongly in favor of pre-existing condition, taking care of people with pre-existing conditions. It's a signal to people. It's a second platform. We have pre-existing conditions will be taken care of 100% by Republicans and the Republican Party. I actually think it's a very important statement. Yes, please.
And that was what's known as a word salad in response to a very straightforward question. Trump was asked what the point of issuing an executive order to ensure that insurers cover pre-existing conditions was, when doing so is a waste of time, considering that's already the law. Like, what's next? An executive order decreeing that we can celebrate Christmas on December 25th? But apparently this is a double safety net in case, the first net breaks. I'm not sure if Trump thinks that laws need reinforcing in case they wear out or something, but they don't need to double up on them. They're not bags groceries. Just the one law stating that insurers are required to cover pre-existing conditions pretty much covers it. And that law is the very one that Republicans have predicated their existence on destroying, Obamacare. Mandating that insurers cover pre-existing conditions is literally the principal tenet of the ACA, meaning that Trump basically saw something he likes and tried to slap his name on it, just like he does with everything. Because the only quote-unquote skill that Trump has is sticking his name on things and then mismanaging them until they eventually fail. Anyone flown on Trump Airlines lately? No? Exactly. But what makes this move even more absurd is that Trump's Justice Department is literally in court right now trying to dismantle the ACA, which is the only actual law protecting Americans from falling victim to predatory insurance companies who'd otherwise be able to deny coverage based on pre-existing conditions, as opposed to Trump's legally tenuous executive order that's worth little more than the paper it's printed on. Trump doesn't actually care about giving people access to health care, he's only concerned with dismantling Obama's legacy. That's why he's fighting to eliminate Obamacare while introducing his own executive orders that do the exact same thing, except the executive orders have his name on it. That's the only difference. He can't deal with the fact that Obama has a plan that's not only popular, but actually works. And so Trump is doing what he always does, which is to try and take a shortcut to get to the same place. And just like he always does, the big extravaganza that he planned has instead only made him look ridiculous. And beyond that, really Trump just wanted an excuse to hold a rally. When he made his initial announcement about the executive order, he was at his New Jersey golf course, and he had invited club members to watch the press conference. This wasn't meant to introduce any legitimate policy changes, he just wanted applause. He was just looking to compensate for the fact that he's not able to hold campaign rallies anymore. And so he called the press conference and the cameras and his supporters in so he could get his daily dose of fanfare and issue some BS executive order, hereby decreeing something that already exists. To claim that this entire thing is a self-serving waste of time and taxpayer dollars would be the understatement of the century. If Trump spent even a fraction of the time he spent trying to undo Obama's legacy, bothering to actually help the American people during this pandemic, he might actually have been able to point to something successful. But instead of spending any time or energy having coordinated a nationwide testing or contact tracing system, or producing enough PPE, or advocating for stay-at-home orders, or endorsing the use of masks, Trump was too busy trying to undo popular Obama-era programs because this isn't about our health or safety, it's about compensating for his insecurities. And don't forget to listen to my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, where I'll take a deep dive into the biggest issues of the week and interview major players in the world of politics, like Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, Beto O'Rourke, Eric Swalwell, Katie Porter, and many more. Again, that's No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, available anywhere you listen to podcasts.